Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Lessons learned from paintballing. Over the weekend, I went on a paintballing trip with some friends of mine, not too far from, I would say about maybe 15 miles from where I live. It was out in the woods. It was a fairly wooded area. The place is called Trigger Time. There's a Y in the time part, but yeah, it was a nice outdoor um, nice outdoor paintball range, a paintball arena, and it was fun. um, it was planned, a couple of days in advance, so I was able to, work my way up to remembering how to do a lot of things that are involved in paintballing. I haven't, I think before then, I haven't done paintballing since 2009. So getting back into the swing of it was something else. But I enjoyed it. And I took away a lot of good lessons that I think that I believe can actually relate to to combat itself. Now I understand paintballing is not this, getting shot with a paintball is not the same as getting shot at with lead. I know that, but it's the closest thing to it. In fact paintballing was created by a group of guys, by a group of ex-military men who wanted to simulate a sport that gave them the same thrill as combat did in the past. So they created paintball, and it's if those of you who've played paintball, I mean, you understand. It's just the sense of, you can get shot at. Now you understand that it's a paintball, but you still don't want to get shot. And so you do move in certain fashions. You do engage. You engage your opponents in a certain way to keep yourself from getting hit. But some of the things I've learned over the weekend, uh, the benefit of knee pads. And I remember Irish made a funny comment saying, "Your knee pads, they're more than just for getting a promotion." I was when I first when the match. I think the first match we did was there was a like a crash air it was like an airfield, and there was a crash plane in the middle, and now these were teams of about 15 and 16, so we were on opposite ends. And I remember, when the game started, we all ran towards the middle, and I remember running, and I was just wearing jeans. I did wear some lace up boots that I have. They're not steel toe, but they protect my toes pretty well. I got behind some cover with one of my teammates, and I landed right on my right knee. I was like, oh man, I thought I skinned my knee. My knee was fine, but just the feeling of, landing real hard on parts of your body. It can, if you land the wrong way, it could, incapacitate you, take you out the fight for a bit. So next time I go paintballing, I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of some knee pads to, add better protection to my knees. Um, because let's say that you're actually in a firefight, and I was in the woods, but most likely if it was to happen for me, it'd be in this, be in a city environment, be with not necessarily dirt and wood, but with concrete and asphalt. So if I'm gonna land on something, hard, if I'm trying to duck down real quick, I want to make sure that I want to make sure that my knees are protected. That I can actually, get back, get up, quickly and move to another spot. So the importance of knee pads when you're moving around, especially when you have to duck behind cover. Another lesson I learned from the experience, work of communication between teammates. There was several times when, we had to tell your teammates where an opponent is. There were times when, I had to listen closely because, there was a lot of action going on when teammates were saying, someone's around the creek, someone's moving in that direction, there's a guy behind that obstacle. So be able to communicate effectively with your teammates is very important, because, like I said, it's a simulation, but let's say in a real firefight, you're with the team. You want to make sure that you know what everyone is saying, that you can hear them, or at least use some type of, hand signals or what have you to communicate effectively as what's going on in that current situation. So communication is key. Uh, the third thing, proper clothing. I went out there. I didn't have any knee pads, but what I did have, I figured out. I knew I played paintball before, so I wore I wore lace up boots. I wore regular blue jeans. Um, I wore a t-shirt. I had a long sleeve shirt underneath, and I wore one of my black hooded jackets. I wore gloves. That's one of the best. That was a great there was a great benefit to having gloves because I got shot in my left. I got shot in this area in my left hand during the match. But being able to hold the gun steady, you know climb over things without hurting your hands. If you have to land, like I said, landing on your knees. If you have to land on your hands are protected. I was landing on the dirt, in the woods. It could be more. It can be more taxing if I land on my hand. If I'm on concrete, like I said before. Most likely, if I would experience anything, it would be in an urban setting, or even if I wasn't indoors. You land on an object and it could hurt your hands. So having gloves, just having the right overall clothing for that situation was important. There were one of my friends. It was her first time and she had shorts on. She got shot in the back of her thigh and it broke the skin. So it was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy day, but we had a lot of fun. Hope to do it again. One of the jokes I said about the experience was if I had done this, like last time I went paintballing was in 2009. If I had done this more often, between 2009 and now, I would have bought at least one paintball. I would have a setup. So instead of buying a paintball gun, I've been buying real guns. So I kind of missed out on some of the fun. But with me and my friends, we get to do this more often. I'll see if I can have a paintball, have some more paintball gear, paintball guns set up. Let's see. Fourth lesson I learned: if you're gonna be, any gun that you have, and this is with paintballing, and it could also tie into with firearms. Whatever type of gun that you have, if you carry ammo, make sure that you not only can carry it, make sure you not just enough or a lot or maybe well just enough, um, but that you can get to it quickly. I had I didn't have a pouch to carry extra paintballs in. I had somewhere around maybe around 300 paintballs on my person. So what I do is I had to I had to fill my gun up to the max. I had to fill the hopper up. And what I did was I had a second bag. Well, the first thing I did was I found the water. And there were guys who had a lot of people had pods. They had these tubes, about a foot long, and they held about 200 paintballs inside of them. They had they had a belt that can hold their pods, hold the pods in place. I found the water bottle. I found a water bottle. It was empty. I said, "Well, the paintballs can fit in this." So I filled it up with paintballs. Put it inside one of my lower pants pockets. I didn't have cargo pants. I did bring an extra pair of pants, but I didn't change into them. And I put that in my pocket. It stayed in my pocket, throughout the match. Um, but then when that was gone, I had to find another way to carry all these paintballs. So I think I split up 300 paintballs and I put them inside. They were in Ziploc bags, and I put them inside my coat pockets. And I remember, having to duck behind things and have to open the bag and fill up my hopper with paintballs. It was a bit of a nightmare, but it would have been a lot easier on me if I had a separate pouch or separate containers to hold my paintballs in. Relating this to with firearms, like I mentioned before in another video, how much ammo. The topic was discussed: how much ammo should you carry? I'm of the opinion that you want to carry a lot, but you want to be able to carry the amount that allows you to move quickly from point A to point B, so you don't be over encumbered with so much stuff, so much ammo, and so many magazines, so much stuff that you can't move effectively. That's just my opinion. Um, take it with a grain of salt. Everyone has their way of have their style of how much ammo they'll carry or how they'll carry it. Me, I think next time I'll go paintballing. I'll treat it as if I carry shotgun shells. Having a pouch on the side that I'll carry all my gears on, or maybe have I'm actually thinking about getting is another web belt with suspenders and the same pouches that is like a Vietnam web belt I saw. It has the M16 magazine pouches. Have those filled with small pods for holding paintballs. That's a thought I have, and it could even be used for for holding magazines for my AR-15. Let's see, there was another lesson I learned. Um, Fifth lesson I learned: any gear that you have on you, make sure it's secure. I brought me a first aid pack that was actually given to me as a gift by Steve Powers when I did that video from a fan. He gave me a Voodoo Tactical first aid pouch, and it has Molly webbing on the back. I decided to bring that with me just in case something happened while I was out, out there playing paintball with my friends, and it came loose repeatedly. The button snaps came off. And the thing is, I had it attached to my belt. It was on my left side of my back, and I remember from first movement and ducking down behind cover, it popped loose. So what I think I might have to do is, there is actually, there's a way for the straps to fit between the other, there's a way for the vertical straps to fit between the horizontal straps on the back of the first aid pack. And I think I'm gonna orient it in a way that keeps it from coming loose so suddenly. The same thing with in a real life situation. If you have a lot of gear on you, you want to make sure that it's secure. You want to make sure that it's not gonna fall, pop off once you have to duck behind something, or you maneuver a certain way. For me, it was cumbersome. Having to try to reattach my first aid pack to my belt when there are paintballs flying all over the place. But it was a learning experience. You know, another thing I learned from paintballing, the importance of physical fitness. And Irish on his channel, Hibernia Son, he emphasizes that as being very important. That day I had chest congestion. When this time of year, my lungs, they fill up with more mucus, and it affects my breathing. So I took some medicine and I drank some water, but I still, I said I'm still gonna go to this paintball event with my friends. And even though we were walking all over the place, I was able to manage my breathing. It was, if I didn't have a way of managing my breathing, if I didn't exercise beforehand, because I ride a bike from time to time, mostly just about every day. It would be more difficult for me, especially if I had to carry a lot of if I had to carry a lot of gear, or had to move from point A to point B, moving zigzags, things like that, to avoid getting hit. It'd been very difficult for me if I wasn't particularly fit. Um, in fact, the chest congestion lessened the more I moved around. I guess because of the heavier breathing and my heart rate going up, I was able to spit mucus out a lot faster, and be able to keep myself moving, and be able to function during the match. And then relate this to in a potential SHTF situation. You want to make sure you're physically fit if you ever have to move around, to keep yourself from being over encumbered by whether it's your health, or whether you're carrying a lot of things. You want to make sure that you can move. You can move off, as a saying goes, move off the X. Another thing from Irish. So I learned a lot of lessons from paintballing. I hope to do it again soon, and hopefully I have another story to tell you from the experience. If you have an experience with paintballing yourself, please hear your story, see a comment in the comment section, or even a video response. If you agree with some of the things I've explained, or some of the things I've shared, let it be known. If you don't, please let me know why. Any comments, complaints, send me a PM, or leave a good comment in the comment section. Just please be respectful to everyone else who's watching this video. A little disclaimer. But anyway, that's my video. Lessons learned from paintballing. I'm Edward Jones, and you have a nice day.